Welcome back to the Missouri Evergreen Basic Cataloging course. My name is Greg Whitmore, and in this video we're going to show you how to add and delete monograph parts. Monograph parts are usually individual pieces of a whole. The most often place that we see these are in DVD sets. And it also depends on your library's policy how you're going to check these out. Some libraries will check out an entire season as one unit. In my fictional library that I'm working at, our policy is that anytime we have a DVD set over 2 DVDs in a case, we need to break all of those out so that each individual disc can be checked out. So let's start. I've already done a search, and we're going to duplicate it here. I'm going to go into the TCM that I looked at earlier and type in 4093431. We're looking at Game of Thrones Season 7, and you can see where it says right here that it actually has 5 video discs. In keeping with our policy, we want to make sure that each one of those discs is individually checkoutable. So we're going to have to break it down in monograph parts. To do that, we're going to click into the title, and we're going to come over here into the monograph holdings. Notice that there's nothing here right now, so I'm going to have to add a new monograph part. And we want to make sure that when we're identifying these parts that we're looking at the cataloging best policy and using the correct verbiage for the particular item that we're doing. It's broken down very distinctly. For DVDs, you're going to refer to everything as a disc. So I have disc 1, and I'm going to save that. And I'm going to repeat these process for all 5 discs. So then I have disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, and disc 5. Now what we do that we've actually split them out is we have to add them to our system as an individual item. To do that, we're going to go into the Holdings View tab. We're going to click on the library, and we're going to come down and we're going to add call numbers and items. Now, the nice thing about doing it this way is that we can actually add all 5 of these discs at the same time and not have to do them individually. Down here where this says the ME, I'm going to change it to this particular library. So I changed the library, now I'm going to add a call number and watch what it does. Notice that I've still got the same library, and now I've got 2 that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to change these to generic. I'm going to add another call number, and I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to add another one. Now, keeping with the convention that we already had these in for this particular library, they called this Game 7 for the call number. We'll go ahead and put in a barcode. And we need to identify in this section which disk we're talking about. So I'm just going to do all of this in order. In fact, it would have been easier if I had filled out that first line and then duplicated it for all 5, but this will be just as easy. So I went through and I copied the call number. Now I'm going to copy the barcode, except I'm going to change the last number. So they are all individualized. And then each one of these parts is going to get a separate disk. Okay. Now when I come down here, whatever I put in for all of these fields is going to be applied to all 5 of those disks at the same time. So we're going to say that these are available. We have the correct library here. These are not reference items. The shelving locations, obviously you can see that there's a lot of options available here, and just to make it easy, I'm going to keep this in stacks. We want it to be visible in the OPAC. We're going to put in our circulation modifier as a DVD. The price for the set, if we do a quick search, is probably, I'm thinking it's $25. Might be more, it might be less. I'm going to keep the acquisitions costs the same. In your library, the acquisitions cost and the price might be different. Just depends. Circulation type is also going to be, well, it would be a DVD, but in this case, we're going to make it a video recording. It's holdable. There's no deposit that's required. We're not going to put an age-based protection on it because it's been out for a couple of years. Our fine level is going to be normal. If we need any item notes or item alerts, we can put those in here. Floating has a couple of options in it, but nothing specific to our library. We can put some tags in it if we wanted to. I don't see where any of this applies. We can see all of our barcodes down here, and now we're just going to hit save and exit. Then if we go into the holding table, we can see that each disk is actually broken down by the individual disk of the season itself. This is really good for letting the patrons check out one at a time instead of a whole set. And of course we have this bottom one in here that we would probably either want to delete or change a little bit so that we only showed the 5. Now let's assume that a patron has checked out one of the DVDs and it has come back and disk number 4 is now damaged and will not play. We're actually going to have to delete that from this list. To do that, we're going to go into the holdings view. Actually, we're not going to go into the holdings view. Let's go back. We decided that number 4 needed to be deleted. I'm going to go into view. And once I'm here, I can actually come into actions. And I'm going to scroll down. I can either mark it as damaged, which is right here, or I can delete it completely, which is what I want to do. So it tells me that the deleted items or call numbers are going to be permanently eliminated from the catalog. I'm going to say OK. Notice that we still get that message that said that this has been marked for delete. Now if I do another search for this particular TCN, we can see that disk number 4 has now been eliminated from the record. Like I said, we also could have marked it as damaged. Again, that depends on what your library policy is. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for your attention. I appreciate it.